We're live.
Woohoo!
Good for Jeff.
What are we doing? What's going on?
We're back to your transaction. Keeps.
But just out.
Jeff out.
So,
It's gonna be loud.
I might want to.
Forget the microphones.
Yeah.
So Josh,
who wants to play the over under with pieces of paper? I'm going with 3.
for what?
Oh, flip chart?
Over under 3. Who's over? Does he use 4 or does he use 2?
Bye, ladies. Nice to see you.
Flip chart, what?
What are you talking about? Fireside or?
He's about to
It's
do
talking
the
about the
quarter.
flip chart.
He's Jeff Dallas about to do the quarterback of the transaction. How many pieces of paper does he use on that flip chart? So you're going with the over 3.
I'm going with 8. I'm going with under.
Under.
2, 2,
Over.
2,
Over
1 or 2?
three. Over 3.
I'm going over. I'm going with 3. So I'm with that.
All right. Well, what do we get?
Free lunch.
We get a sink.
Get the Chinese food.
But remember, don't say anything. We'll just lock it in.
Yeah, whoever wins, wins. Nice job.
Have you guys done an interboard listing?
Yes. With Trev, cheap. Taylor would be the one to know. Taylor, how much was the Trev interboard?
It's true. It's true. It works on some days.
Oh, that's it.
If I remember correctly.
And the exposures.
Oh, yeah, so it was 97 to do it or something like that, plus 25 admin fees to make any adjustments after it's logged. So if it's a correction or whatever.
And then the communication to actually get it sold,
Yes,
or they didn't mark it sold for like
Yeah, that was
months.
my bad. I didn't tell them.
Oh, sorry, I thought you,
Work.
I'm sorry, I thought you were telling me. It was sold. I kept getting calls from the, it's still available. Like,
So. Update.
Not during the sale, but it was helpful apparently after.
I will.
For I have real things, so nothing.
No.
That's weird. You didn't get an infraction notice?
Not with Trev.
We're non-member.
Yeah. Reason why, this is not cottage, right? It's somehow wired. 2.5 hour drive. from Toronto.
You absolutely put on Trev.
Absolutely.
Ask Katie about the Centennial Lake. We're just getting all the wrong people.
So besides trap, there's billboard, there's a bunch of them down there,
You know
right?
what? Can you send it to us before you put live? We got like 1,000 buyers.
It's
Well, if it's Airbnb, 8 of them.
generating 1,500 a week.
I want it. I might want it to New Year.
Somehow like.
On the island.
How much? Yeah, I need it.
We need to be towards our side.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
know,
good.
I'm very, very pushed into that part. Don't forget that part.
The last
Hey,
team
we've-
purchases west, all right?
We've decided what the corridor is.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of lakes up in that.
I'm gonna be
area. There's Golden Lake,
Yeah.
Round Lake, Lake Clear, Lake Glory.
And those are your options.
Even Muskrat Lake. You get cheap stuff on Muskrat Lake.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a big lake.
$5.99. No,
I mean,
there's
what-
nothing
what-
on the market that's in that price range.
Yeah.
All the other homes are 1.2. Higher. Four seasons. It's actually a home.
Cindy does.
Oh,
Caesar,
Oh,
you have a bug?
John Johnson.
You have a bug?
Bring it up, bring it over here.
When it had moved this up into the same lines. So when you look at how Island,
Lights one level.
with the ferry ride, it's about an hour 40 minutes.
Oh, the ferry goes right to the island.
24 hours, 365.
There you go. That'll work.
There's 2 ferries. There's a small ferry.
Wrong
which
letter.
is- no. And a large ferry which can carry dump trucks.
I didn't realize how island was that big.
It's the second largest with 1,000 members.
Now, do you know how many islands are actually there?
Put my coat on.
Now put the mask on too.
Yeah, the full one. I got a helmet in the car. Here, we'll do it with the other one. John, where did my PowerPoint go? Did you take it? Oh, it's here.
Here you go.
I don't have a presentation for this next one. It's a altered version of what I did.
Do you want? Walter?
Okay, next time we have to learn, when we have some, like training like this, we have to register ourselves. We didn't get the link from the brokerage because it was only 2 people registered.
Really?
Yes.
So
John,
you're,
John, can you? Thanks.
You're calling.
What do you want to put on there? What do you have?
Just getting your full commission, just the cover of it. She's gonna do a picture.
What?
Oh,
That's what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I heard Caesar salad.
No.
He said like Caesar?
Yeah, Caesar.
Yeah, I think it's Caesar.
Hey, you gotta go get a cup.
What's that?
You just make it
Select
percent.
whatever one you want.
It's like, oh, you just put that right there. From the top, make it.
Big?
But it always had the slide on the side. Where?
Down here in the bottom.
Virtual.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, John.
Fabulous, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
Are you going for the promoter job? Yeah, I think you should be hired.
How do you know about that? We just talked about that this morning.
Well, it needs to happen.
How do you know about that already?
Because it needs to
Seriously?
happen.
Did somebody tell you that was gonna happen?
No, Rochelle just knows things. She does better
So
things.
the funny thing is,
That was great.
Alexander and I were talking this morning, and we said in the new year, we're gonna have to get somebody and appoint them to be the KW promotion person, to promote everything we do in-house to our own agents and staff so that we get participation.
I've been applying for jobs since the get-go.
No way, you wanna do that? There we go, perfect, that'd be amazing.
I just wanted to do it because I felt it was necessary.
So Alex and I were talking about that this morning, hiring somebody to do just that, that's excellent. That's cool. Great minds.
Well, my name is Kay Gondek. I'm with the West team.
Tay, are you any relation to Noah Gardner?
Yeah, he's my dad.
You-
I've been meaning to chat with you.
Oh my, he's not your
Yeah,
dad.
you put out.
I quit. I'm done. I gotta retire. I'm too old.
You almost got done.
Seriously,
Yeah,
Mitch?
if you remember Melody, I don't know if you've never heard.
Of course I do.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing is, I thought he was your husband.
Anne thinks that all the time. It's so awkward.
Cause I told her that.
She's like,
She's like, I think
hey,
you know
there's
that.
a man here for you. I'm like, literally, this is my dad. Can you stop?
What's he do now?
He's a teacher.
No way.
Elementary.
Awesome teacher, he'd be amazing teacher.
Yeah.
So her dad was with me at Edward Jones bajillion years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small world, eh?
I don't know, but a Billy Jilly, now you're aging me.
Yeah. Were you born already?
Okay,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we
my
met.
dad started in Edward Jones probably when I was like, elementary school.
Nice. Yeah. Now all these guys know how to stockbroker. Differently. We had an amazing little office. We were in Blossom Park. Right around the corner from the fire station, and the police station. We're #2 in Canada at Blossom Park.
I just remember going on really amazing trips
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
having really great time with my
The
dad.
soup, so when you're with Edward Jones, if you hit a certain target, you win a trip. And the trips are like biking in France, wine country. So I had 2 little babies at the time, so I couldn't take any of those fancy trips with my family. So I banked them and took a super trip. I put 2 together. We did 8 days at Disney, in the resort at Disney. We were at the beach club. And then 6 days on a Disney cruise. That was our trip. It was insane. On my floor in Disney day was us, Shaquille O'Neal, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown with their kids. There was only 3 rooms on my floor. It was like $8,000 a night for this hotel. It was
So we
insane.
didn't do those, we went to Montebello, and I rode horses, like, yeah, and.
So that's funny. Yeah, we're pretty close to you, Doug. when you said-
Yeah, so my parents like, I was in Dallas,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, you still be like, yeah, or whatever.
Whatever the hell I did, yeah.
And I have
That's
like
funny.
something great memories.
I have to go for dinner with us soon.
I'm kind of like that.
I haven't seen him forever. Yeah.
They're
You know,
They're here, they're neighborhood.
really?
They're in Pennsylvania.
That's cool. You know, you drift apart.
Like once we were-
Because he left, I left, Edward Jones started mortgage brokerage for him.
He went to RBC, but he wasn't doing mortgages.
Oh, I had a company, I had that policy, was fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great. I went with Adam a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had fun, like, we're great. Mhm.
Oh,
I don't know.
I can't believe you're his daughter. Oh my God, now I think, but I guess my son's 25, so yeah. Guess we all get old. Amazing. I'm doing for time. I get rolling. I should.
Got a minute or two more, people are not on Zoom, it's only 4 people.
Okay.
And 2 of those are right for me.
So this next session is basically about accountability. And this is what it comes down to. In your client's eyes, who do your clients know in this whole process? Who do they know? They know you. You're it. So we'll start this with, if something goes wrong, which it never does in real estate. If something goes wrong, whose fault is it? Ah, It is yours.
It's always mine.
Good, perfect. It's always yours. It's always, if the mortgage broker screws up, it's our fault. If the inspector does something bad, it's our fault. The appraiser does something bad, it's everything in this whole picture now. You are the, what did you call yourself, Josh? I call myself the quarterback of the deal. What do you call yourself? The event planner, right? Exactly. You're the GM, the event planner. I call myself the quarterback because I'm a football guy, but whatever you are, you're it. You're your client's point of contact. You are responsible for everybody in the picture that your client is going to come in contact with through this process. So you better know who they are, what they do, and what they're responsible for. So that's what this little session is kind of for. So I'm going to throw it out to you guys. We're listing a house. Who do we need? Hold on. Okay, we assume we have clients already. So we do need the mortgage broker, but not so much for this one, but we're going to need one. Who else do we need? What kind? All right, real estate lawyer. Okay, we're going to talk about each one of these individually, but okay, who else do we need? Everybody talked about it already. What's that?
Stager.
Stager. Sorry, John, stager. What did you say, John?
Could be a family lawyer.
Oh, yeah, sure could. I'm dealing with that right now.
Photographer.
I'm dealing with an estate lawyer right now. 4 kids inherited the property, listed it for a year. Got 3 offers, fought so much, the court stepped in and took the property away from him, said, from now on, the judge is gonna decide whether you accept the offer. Crazy, yeah? So stager, okay, who else might we need? Photographer? A cleaner?
Handyman.
Oh, yeah, that handyman for sure. Therapist, cleaners. Home inspector. Yeah,
Carpet guy.
where's there? Well, there's a whole bunch of subsidiary guys that we could have, like trades. Let's call them trade guys. Trades. When you're new in real estate, how many people are kind of new? Anybody in the room kind of new? When you're kind of new, you won't have all these relationships yet, right? You won't have any of them. What should you do? Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. Join a team. And if you're not going to join a team, if you got this mental block in your head, your drunk monkeys telling you build your own brand, don't join a team because 100% of nothing is way more than 50% of lots. But if that drunk monkey is telling you that, and you don't have these connections, reach out to those of us around you that do. We would gladly.
Is to go on groups on Facebook, ask for referrals, ask your friend for referrals, everybody wants to contribute, and that'll actually boost up your profile and actually include a lot of other people.
Okay, now I'm gonna give you a quick warning here. Here you are in the middle of all this. Ladies, this is your crown. You're in the middle of all this. You're gonna recommend a mortgage broker. If that mortgage broker screws up, a little chunk of your crown's gonna go missing. You're gonna recommend a stager. If that stager screws up, a little chunk of your crown's gonna go missing. You're gonna recommend a home renovator, and this is from experience, if they defraud your client, this thing gets blown right up. It's gone. So when you're referring, be careful. Don't refer because somebody's going to refer business to you. That is the very, very, very worst thing to do. If somebody says, hey, let's work on a referral basis. You send me business, I'll send you business. That's a red flag, right? That's a red flag. You want to work with the best professionals you can. How are you going to get your real estate business? Lead generation, marketing, we're going to do it. You don't need your home inspector to send you referrals. If he does, he's probably not a great, or she is probably not a great home inspector, because a great home inspector has 50 of us. Why would they send the deal to you and not me? Okay, so don't expect referrals. Or you guys, yeah, don't expect referrals. This is about finding the very, very best people that you can find. My mortgage brokers, I have 2, they're the best in the city, hands down, period. I have 3, actually, one's commercial. They're the best in the city. I love them. They love me. We work together very closely. I have the best stager. Now you guys think yours is the best? I'd put mine up against her every day. Every day. I don't know yours. Who is yours? Who do you use? I use a girl named Michelin, and she is like 6'1", brunette, and gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, ours is shorter, blonde, and gorgeous.
Oh, that's all different tastes. Anyway, so stager really important. I have them, but the most important thing here is to understand that whatever you're around, whoever your professional is, that's your responsibility. So let's start at the beginning of the listing process. We're gonna go right to the start. You walk in, you meet the client for the first time. Let's start with who is the first professional you might need at that point, and they're right here in this office, right? If you're not experienced, you have trouble assessing CMAs, doing evaluations, that kind of thing, come here to us. That's why we're all here. Jean will help, I'll help. Everybody will help. Come here. So your first avenue of which professional go to, right here in the office, come get help. Next, should we do a pre-home inspection? Today's market, should you do one? It depends.
Depends, but let's throw it out, yes.
Okay, let's say yes. And here's the reason to do it. If I'm listing a townhouse in or a home in Barrhaven, Canada, Stittsville, and I know I'm going to get multiple offers, if I do a pre-listing inspection, it's easier on the buyer's agents.
The same reason to order a status certificate.
Same reason to order status certificate of events. So that pre-listing inspection, do we have an inspector that will do that? Every home inspector will, right? If you don't have one, get one. If you need one, does anybody here need a home inspector? We're all good? Anybody online? We're all good? Okay, cool. So the home inspector coming right at the start. You're gonna get the house ready. So we might need contractors. That I'm gonna leave up to you guys. We might need a stager. Okay, I will tell you this, there's different levels of stagers out there. There are people that took the course and know to, take the family pictures down, declutter, all that stuff. I had 7 or 8 that I used over the years that I fired because all they did was what I could do. When you want a stager, you need somebody that makes the house magazine photo ready. So that when your stager's done, that house is ready for pictures. So when should you get the stager to come in? You guys tell me, how soon in the process? Right away, good. I like for my houses to do a 2-step staging process where the stager comes in. So Mish will come in, she'll give them a list of what to do. She'll take the color palettes, tell them what colors we're gonna paint, what lights we're gonna change, do all that stuff. We'll do all of the work. And then on the day of the photos, Mish and I go in the morning and spend an hour in the house getting it ready for the photographer. And then the photographer comes before the clients come back. Okay, and this is why I have to do that. One time we staged a house, the client came back, moved stuff, Michelin saw the pictures and said, that's not my work, go do those pictures again. I said, all right, so we went back, put it the way she had it, did the pictures again. So it's really important. Your stager's gonna go and do all the work, you're gonna get the house ready. You need to time things right. You need your stager and your photographer pretty much on the same day. You don't wanna let your family move back in after you just spent $6,000-7,000 bucks, whatever staging costs, because they will move stuff around. So I do 2 steps, stager, then we do all the work. So then we might bring in whoever we need, and then the photographer. And we do it on the same day.
So you're thinking stager, but then there's decluttering. Can you just get decluttering done and then bring the stager in?
That is a great question. And I wrote a book. and I will send you the copy of the book, and you can put your picture on the front, pretend you wrote it and give it to your clients. I wrote a book on pre-staging, how to get your house ready for the staging. If anybody wants it, just send me an email, say send it to me.
I do.
It's basically, I mean, it's really straightforward. It's things like all your cupboards should be 70% full. Right? You don't want empty cupboards because it looks like you put everything away and there wasn't enough room. You don't want them busting out. So get all your closets to the point where they're all 70% full. Blah, blah, blah. You know, shirts, hang them in the same direction of the closet. It's just simple stuff like that, but it's all the stuff that saves the stager time. Because when my stager's there, I want my stager only getting that house ready for photos, not worrying about the fact that the cupboard is bursting with clothes, you know? So yeah, I do. I have and I give it to them in my listing appointment. By the way, I put this together. This is just for you to get ready for the stager, and I give it to you. All right, and on the front of that cover, it's got a picture of Mr. Clean Magic Sponge. It's got a picture of CLR. It's got all the stuff they might need, right? So yeah, I do that. And that's a great point. Before the stager comes in, there's no point them coming in to a hoarder house or a cluttered house or stuff, you know, get it clean first. I know, Rose, you do this, right? Before your stager comes in, get everything out. Okay, who else might we need? We got our lawyer doing all this stuff. They buy the house, they look at it. We're pretty good on this side, right? We're pretty good. You're gonna need a mover. Does anybody do anything for their clients after they sell? Help them with their stuff? Who do you use for that, you guys? You use a service or? No, not closing this. MoveSnap, that's the one. Do you guys use MoveSnap? Yeah, so at this point, when they sell their house, sign them up for MoveSnap. That gives them the advice and everything. We're good with that? Yeah. Okay, so. Real estate lawyers. Okay. What's the most important part about a real estate lawyer? You guys tell me, when you're looking for one, you want to refer your clients to, what are you looking for? What's competency? Good. Here's the question asked. If something goes wrong, will you still represent this person? Half the real estate lawyers in the city, half, 50%. If everything goes right, they're great. As soon as something goes wrong, I'm not a litigator. You're going to need a litigator.
I've had lawyers.
Okay, be careful. How bad is that? You helped your client, you sent them to a lawyer, something went wrong, and then the lawyer washed his hands of the whole thing and said, I'm not a litigator, sorry. I had it happen to me one time, and I said, ooh. From now on, I ask that question. If something goes wrong, what will you do for my client? Or will you throw us off on your litigation lawyer that we don't even know? Right, so be careful about that. Make sure your lawyer will be there for you. My lawyers that I use are amazing. I have two. They're good friends now. They weren't friends before, but they're good friends now. And they will do, like, they'll answer calls. They'll do stuff for free for my clients because we send them so much business. Right? So your real estate lawyer, when do you get your real estate lawyer involved? I'm working with a seller. When should I involve the lawyer? Conditional sale? No. Why not, Josh?
Because it could fall apart and you cost your client money.
Perfect. And I made that mistake when I first started. Went conditional, sent it to the lawyer. Lawyer started work. Deal fell apart. Client got a $600 bill from the lawyer that I paid. Okay. When it's firm, grab the lawyer. Till it's firm, don't engage the lawyer. I have an email that I send to my lawyer, Matt. I say, Matt, this is the client. We're just conditional. I'm just introducing you. Call, reach out, touch base. We'll engage you when it goes firm. And so that the introduction is there, but he's not started running the clock yet. But you need to have a relationship with your lawyer to do that. Right? If you don't have a relationship with the lawyer, you're in trouble. Everybody good with real estate lawyers? Yes. What should they cost? You guys know the cost of them?
100,000. On the buyer side.
Yeah, under $2,000. Same on the seller
I
side.
think that's a big number, depending on what we're talking about on that 2,000 plus their out-of-pocket expenses. Most fees are going to be between $650 and $1,000 or $1,200 bucks.
That would.
Then plus out-of-pocket expenses.
Yeah, so that would cover like
17,
17 to 18 would cover title insurance, the whole shebang.
Yeah, that's what-
That would be the legal cost. Okay, so real estate lawyers, they're important to come to the picture. We're going to talk mortgage brokers. See if I can spell it right. Everybody understand what a mortgage broker is?
on page 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody understand what a mortgage broker is?
Yes.
All right, for those of you that have a lot of experience in this side of the business, this is going to be boring, but assume we're doing this for the younger people that work at Atlantis on video. All right, what is the difference between a mortgage broker and a banker? Somebody at TD Bank who does mortgages. Somebody tell me, what's the difference?
The mortgage broker has the,
Mortgage broker has what?
he works with more banks. He gives out opportunity to part, depending on the.
Perfect. So the bank. Remember Simpsons Years? You guys old enough? Simpsons Years, the Bay. Remember the Bay? Do we remember the Bay? Okay, great. If you had a Bay card, you could buy all of the amazing things at the Bay. And that's your Toronto Dominion mortgage person. They're like a Bay card. You have an American Express card. You can buy all the great things at the Bay, everywhere else too. That's your mortgage broker. And that's the way to understand. Simple. The Toronto Dominion mortgage agent can give their products. The broker can shop the market for you. Now,
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, we can use that analogy with millennials here, like we're talking about.
They're just a little bit.
Yes.
That's pretty intuitive, so I think we can manage it.
I think you figured it out. Or you young people could draw another similarity, like an Amazon card or a.
I'll just bring this up about the.
That's very.
We can do it high
Bring
tech
this
card.
up about the millennial. The millennial is still listening to mom and dad a little bit. So whatever mom and dad have chosen to do is where that millennial will go. Whether that's I go to TD because my dad shops at TD, or I have a mortgage broker, or I have a financial advisor.
Okay, take your listening hat off. Let's all be buyers for a minute. How important are these guys to us?
Very.
Who's more important in the process? No one.
Me.
So you better have good ones, right? You better have one or two really good ones. So what are we looking for in a mortgage? First of all, if a mortgage broker tells you I'm going to give you money and that means something to you, go work at McDonald's as a Friday. Can't say that word clearly. If the reason you're going to refer business to a mortgage broker or a bank is because they're going to give you $500, go do a different job. We make $26,000 on the sale. Refer them to a good mortgage broker, not the one that pays money. Everybody hear that? Good. I was a mortgage broker, so this is me telling you. What you're looking for in a mortgage broker: access to finance. A new mortgage broker is useless to you because if everything's not perfect, they won't be able to close the deal unless they're working on a team. Right? So you need a mortgage broker that has access to private, access to stuff, and one that's been around long enough that they have access to underwriters, because that phone call makes a difference. So mortgage broker is key. What does a mortgage broker do? Anybody know? Good, excellent. I walk into the TD Bank or I see my broker. I'm gonna do this because I really want to make sure that you guys are really focusing on getting your clients working with mortgage brokers instead of banks. If I walk into TD Bank, who does that person work for? Who does my mortgage broker work for? You. How many banks can they represent? It's one. Most of them. No privates, privates. A and B only, A, B, C, maybe private D, if you're really messy. Only residential, easy, probably mostly rural. Everything.
Salary. Commission,
Salary commission.
9 to 5, 24/7.
So let's go.
Only
Care,
gets paid when you
care,
close the deal.
don't care. Okay, so lots of reasons. When your client comes to you, you refer them to a mortgage broker. If they're already dealing with somebody, is that a problem? Can you have two mortgage brokers working on one deal? No, Josh, bad.
You can.
You can, absolutely you
If
can. It
you're
is.
at TD and say I've already been pre-qualified, that's fantastic. Can we go through this route with me? I want you to go work with Kyle Miller on this one just for a second.
I love this.
Help me.
Perfect. Okay, so
Well, if they're at TD, if they say that they're at TD and I say, well, that's
Get you
great,
working on the profile.
I can definitely refer them to
Okay.
hypothetically Kyle Miller.
give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll have this conversation again. Here we go. What is a bank's job? Lender. What's their job? Somebody tell me. What's the job of a bank? Lending.
Lend money.
No, it's not. It's risk management. The bank's only job is risk management. They have an unlimited amount of people that want to borrow the money they have. That's not their job. Their job is to make sure they only lend it to people that they will be sure pay it back. Does that make sense? So their job's not marketing, it's not promotion, it's not sales. It is only risk management. So when you go to a bank and you say, I would like a mortgage, what do you think their answer is?
ETFO.
No, you can't have a mortgage because that would be risky for me to give it out. So the job of the mortgage broker is to take this no and make it into a yes. Simple, easy, kind of. They do it by using what are called the 4 C's of credit. Has anybody heard of the 4 C's of credit before? The first C is character. So you walk in your mortgage broker, and the first thing they're going to do is discover or uncover your character, find out if you're a good person, but make a story about your character. So let's say you have a great character. And you go to the bank, and he takes you to the bank, the broker takes you to the bank, says, okay, you have amazing character, this person's great, will you lend them money? What do you think the bank's gonna say? Nope. Right? Next is capacity. That's can they pay? Right? And so how do we prove character? They prove character with a story. So, Jeff's been in the community for a long time. He's been a football coach. He has family here. He's got roots. He's grounded. Capacity they prove by me proving my income. Can I afford to pay the loan? Right? That's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So I can pay the loan. The answer is still no. Next C is collateral. Collateral is what are you buying? What are you putting up for security? That's the house. If you're buying a great house in the city, that's awesome collateral. That's a yes. Now, if you have 3 yeses, you are now a C client, and your mortgage broker can likely get you a mortgage. TD, Royal Bank, Scotiabank cannot, but your mortgage broker likely can. So now you're at 3. 4 is capital. Capital is what do you have? Do you have RSPs? Do you own a car? Do you own another house? Do you have investments? What kind of stuff do you have if you lost your job that you could pay your mortgage with? Or in the bank's mind, let's be realistic, what do you have that we could seize if we needed to? Right? So if I have great, yes. Now I'm a B client, so now I have 4 out of 5. Now I can go to TD and Scotiabank and get a crappy rate. Or I can go to my mortgage broker and go to a subprime lender and get a great rate. And then if I have the 5th one, which is credit, and we look at that with a bureau, if I have all 5, I am now an A client. So if you have all 5, so you have good character, you have good capacity, you can pay, you're buying something good, you have other assets, and your credit's good on your credit report. Now you're all 5. Now you can go to any bank and get the best deal, right? So if you have an A client, they could get away with using a bank broker, but the other ones can't. Does that make sense? Everybody? Yes? Good? Okay. Here's what a mortgage broker does. I interview you and I write a story about you. And I sell that story to an underwriter. So anybody could be the underwriter, say to the bank, I'm going to take the story, I'm going to package the story up, I'm going to sell it to that underwriter at the bank. Now, I'm going to wrap you up with a ribbon and a bow in my own way. So if I'm Kyle up there, I'm writing a story about your clients and I'm presenting it to a lender. That lender is then taking that story and presenting it to one of 3 insurance companies. So you got GE, CMHC, I don't know, CMHC, let's say it. They'll present that story to CMHC. Here's the problem. If CMHC gets 2 different stories about the same buyer, so I went to 2 different mortgage brokers and they packaged it slightly differently. They didn't have to be a lot, a little different. All CMHC does is red flag that buyer for fraud and turn the deal down. That red flag stays forever. You go to 2 mortgage brokers at once. Could that potentially be a problem? Absolutely. So what you have to do when you're dealing with a client, and they're already dealing with somebody, if it's a bank branch, you're probably okay. But if it's a broker, find out how far the broker has gone. Have they submitted the deal? Have they submitted? And if they haven't, you got to make sure your client tells them to stop before the next broker starts. Okay? I've seen people's lives demolished because they went to a decent mortgage broker, couldn't do the deal, but submitted and it failed. And then they went to a crooked mortgage broker who submitted some fraudulent documents. Finished. They can never get an insured mortgage in Canada again. And believe it or not, that's a big penalty. That's a really big penalty. Okay. Who pays the mortgage brokers? So you're gonna have to explain that to your client. They're gonna go, how much do they cost? The mortgage brokers get paid by the lenders. So when they take the loan to a lender, the lender pays them an origination fee, right? 90% of the time. If it's private, it's different, but if they're going to a real lender. Now, why would a lender pay a broker so that you don't have to? And it's pretty straightforward and easy to explain to people. If you walk into a bank branch, you are dealing with a teller who may have a university degree, took a 2-hour mortgage course, and is now going to represent you in $1 million contract. The bank has a little liability. They would rather pass that liability off to a separate professional individual like mortgage broker who does their job and has liability insurance and looks after you, rather than the person at the bank who, if they do something wrong, the bank is going to get sued. So there's first is that. Second of all, these guys cost them nothing. Those bank employees cost a lot of money. So it's better for them to. All right, so let's repeat. This is a short training that I got too much time for, but that's okay. Who's responsible? Something goes wrong, who's responsible? We are, right? We are. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with that? I call it the AAA of problem solving. How do we deal with it? Acknowledge problem. Apologize and act to fix it. Acknowledge, apologize, act. So never hide from a problem. And this is what I'm going to leave you with on this training. In real estate, there are tons of problems. Every single deal, well, I would say 80% of the deals I've done, something has come up, and it's usually something small. If you ignore it, does it go away?
No.
Ever. It just gets worse. If you try and pass the buck, it just gets worse. Acknowledge it, apologize, and act to fix it right away. As soon as a problem happens, jump on it. Don't avoid it. I've seen agents that get scared because it wasn't their fault. It's always your responsibility. It's not your fault. That's your responsibility. All right, any questions?
Yeah, one thing that I do when I always prepare for my clients, they always ask for a referral, because like I said, it's a teamwork, right?
Mhm.
So I tell them, I'm referred, they have these two options. I never worked with this person, but my clients had a very good experience with them. That's why I'm referring them. So we don't get any commission at all. If some things go wrong, every case is different, so we're gonna like take a look at it again. If it's something a huge mistake, I'm not gonna work with that person anymore. But like, I'm just referring because my clients love it. So it's not because I'm gaining commission or something. So they like to know that. So or they do work.
I tell them, you're gonna use my mortgage broker, they'll use it.
Or if they insist.
Okay, did you everybody hear that? Why am I so hard on them using my own mortgage brokers? You get it? Because every time they use their own, every time I have communication problems and something goes wrong. When they use mine, everything goes well.
That's why I tell, like, if you insist to use your mortgage broker, send me an email, present me to them as your broker, because we have to work together, otherwise the deal is not done.
That's right. And I would say at that point, or if you use my mortgage broker, we've done 100 deals together, we know each other, we can work together. And I'm always, like, my mortgage brokers like me because I push the business to them. But I don't do that for their benefit. I do it because they get deals closed for me. And that's all they care about. And my guys will get commercial deals closed, I'll get stuff closed that nobody. But they're important.
And what Josh said as well, like my mortgage broker works for me 24 hours, the bank is 5 to 9.
Yeah.
And if you have like even the mortgage broker, they know it's not gonna work 24 hours with you. Of course, because they wanna send more deals, they're gonna be always there to answer your questions.
Okay, so now let me throw a little fear of God in, and then we'll have a question. Okay, go ahead. What's that?
At what point should you like?
Yeah.
Refer to 3 people?
No, God, no.
Like,
That's an
as
urban
a new
legend.
agent,
That's
that's
a-
something like.
That's an urban legend. That if I don't refer
So
3, I
my
might get
thing is
sued.
just, this is the one you should go with, that's all. We're taking the blame anyways, no matter what. So.
I mean, I can tell you, if you refer one person and you have an intimate relation with that person, you're getting money from that person, you better make a client sign off that they understand that exists, that relationship.
Yeah.
Because if anything goes wrong, they're gonna think you set it up. But no, I don't have to have 3 lawyers and 3 mortgage brokers and 3 X. Here's your lawyer, here's your mortgage broker. I do always give out 2 home inspectors and I make them call both. That's the one spot I'm a little worried. Because if something doesn't get caught during the home inspection, and I only gave them one, it does look a bit fishy. But if the lawyer screws up some paperwork, man, I had no benefit there, right? So there's no risk. Yeah,
And one thing that I like to refer, like a very good inspector is, there's a lot of inspectors out there, but the inspector has insurance. If he does something wrong, you can go after him.
okay, I'm
you
gonna,
know?
you guys know what FOMO, this is my version of FOMO, and I'm gonna scare the crap out of you. I have 2 mortgage brokers that I work with, 2, that are 2 of the busiest in the city. You guys already, some of you in this room maybe, send them deals. Every referral they have to give out goes to me. And they're talking to your clients about how I'm better than you. Now, still want to use that broker?
Somebody.
No, that's a lawyer. He doesn't do that. You know,
If I ever found that out, shit would hit the fan so fucking.
so
hard.
Josh, it's like
I
this.
would, I mean. it
This,
would
and
be-
I exaggerate because I'm trying to scare everybody,
Yeah.
but it actually, this is the
But
way.
I just mean if I referred something to somebody.
Oh, no,
And
no.
someone was trying to. push it
Stop.
Elsewhere.
Stop there. That's not what I'm saying. Not saying if you refer them. Saying if you don't refer them. and your clients choose the mortgage broker and they happen to choose mine. So if your client is using my mortgage broker and my mortgage broker, Harvey says, "Josh, I never met him." I go, okay, so is he good? Oh, he's probably okay. Something goes wrong. Harvey's like, "Phew." Never would happen.
Do not tell your mortgage broker name, okay?
I'm not going to.
I'm not-
But okay, they don't do that. My guys have class and style. They would never really do that. But they could. And so if you have a relationship with a mortgage broker, you want to be the one to, so when the mortgage broker calls a realtor to ask a question, hey, I've got a question, you want it to be you they call. Right? Because that's who they're going to refer to. So be careful with everything, like with your mortgage brokers. Don't let your clients pick because you don't know who they're picking. They might be picking my guy who's dedicated to me. So, Josh, I'll use you as example. Client comes to you, says, Josh, I love working with you and everything else. Got this mortgage broker over here. I've talked to a few times. You're gonna say, that's great, that's wonderful. Would you mind if I introduce you to mine too? Because we work so well together. You guys are gonna do that every time, right? I would. I would offer to introduce every time. Is that not the same thing?
I think it is the same thing. I think it's the way that you do it is different. I'd say, well, how well do you know this guy? Are you attached to this mortgage broker? Has he started to do any work with you?
Listen,
Where are you at? I'm qualifying that
Perfect.
relationship.
what I don't want is some strange mortgage broker having that conversation with my client about me. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, if they went to Kyle and said, yeah, I'm working with Jeff, and Kyle says, great, how do you know Jeff? No, how are you connected to him? Have you signed anything with him? Yeah, how much have you seen him? All of a sudden, that client's gonna start thinking, maybe Jeff's not the right guy. Whereas if he goes to Kyle and goes, yeah, I work with Jeff every day, he's amazing, he made a great choice.
I have a lawyer that I applied, like, not the first, but like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then my client came desperate to me, she said, you know what? They said to me, how you could sign a contract with no inspection? Imagine, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, we talked everything about inspection and the signed 127 and everything. And she said, Rose, do not work with this lawyer. She scared me so much. I don't think that's her job, you know, to scare. Of course, they do their job as a lawyer, but there's a way to talk with the client. I never ever send anyone to them anymore.
Think of it as the eyebrow goes. With one eyebrow, you could steer somebody away from something.
Yeah.
Lawyers can do it with one eyebrow, they can steer you away from you. Mortgage brokers can do the same. They really can. Right? So own your professionals. Remember we talked about quarterbacking the deal, being the
Team, right?
party coordinator, whatever you want to call it. Have a team of professionals, make sure they're the best. Don't have them because they give you money. Have them because they do good work for your
Respect you,
clients.
and they respect you and they respect your client.
Right, exactly.
I had another lawyer that told me, because you know the start certificate, sometimes you have to put an offer like Saturday night or like Friday night or something. And he said to me, oh, you know what, like I have to charge extra because I need to do this start certificate at this time. I said, you know what, I sent you like a lot of you. The only thing, I don't ask any referral, anything from you. I just wanted to respect my clients and help them to get the deal. And sometimes this is like, the no condition of start certificate is what gonna make them gain the deal. So it's just, the only thing that I ask for you, it's not $300 that's gonna make a difference, it's the relationship. He asked me, like, he apologized and he never said, okay, yes, I wanna enter in your deal, I wanna help them to get it, forget about what it is.
Now, if that was their lawyer, not yours, they picked the lawyer.
Oh, it's
You
a
could have
lawyer,
never had
no,
that
no,
conversation.
I'm referred.
But yeah, but if it wasn't your referral, you never could have had that conversation.
No, yeah, of course not.
So then they would have paid $300.
Yeah.
So
I
having
try
those
my best.
relationships are everything. Yeah, any questions? No? Okay, I'm going to Flint, Michigan. See y'all later. I won't drink the water.
Yeah, it's a good thing when you are dealing with like the I don't want to say the collaborators, is like to show them like what is your intention with your client and get them into your board with you. If they are not into it, get out of it. You know, if they don't answer your clients' email, they don't like respect the time to send them the amount to the deposit, don't work anymore.
How do you get referrals from the people you send business to? Guys, you know how you do it. Here's how you do it. Send good business to them. The more your clients say good things about you, sooner or later, you'll start cranking referrals out from those people. So, especially the lawyers, because the lawyers are used to hearing bad things about realtors. If they start hearing good things about you. Lawyers, when should you talk to the lawyers in this whole process and how much? Because I think we dropped the ball over there. Should we be sending the documentation to the lawyer or do we let head office here do it? We do it, right?
All right.
You do it? You guys send it, West team, you guys send documentation to the lawyers yourself? Or do you,
Yes,
yeah.
everything, yeah.
So everybody, you should be doing that. Get the documentation to the lawyer yourself. Also follow up with the lawyer's assistant. Hi, I just sent you everything. Is there anything else you need? Follow up a week before. Hi, it's Jeff calling. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Follow up the day of. Hi, it's Jeff calling again. Just want to make sure everything's good. Those calls, the lawyer will go, this is a professional, this is a person that cares, this is a person I can refer to.
And the day of the closing, send a message, everything okay, did you get everything, you need more documents, how is it closing doing? So, and then they send, hey, close the deal.
Yeah.
Advertise so much fun.
I know, and
Get involved.
once you develop relationships with these people, it becomes, they're your buddies that are doing business with you. Like, it actually adds to your life having good referral sources.
And we never know when you're gonna be that lawyer.
Okay. All right,
Thanks, Jeff.
you're welcome, guys. Thank you. John, thanks for helping out too.
Thanks for,